Hello. I just wanted to talk a little bit about a realization, self-discovery that I had recently in working with my therapist. We were kind of talking a little bit about how a perpetrator designs like this story, I guess is the word that we kind of fall into, like whether it's it's villainizing us, the victims, through like gaslighting and so many techniques. But what was interesting was how a specific, like I was telling her a situation where I remembered specifically like my dad making me to be the villain, and saying things like, you won't abuse my wife or whatever, and which was so confusing because it was like, what am I doing ever that is abusive towards you, them, my family, while I'm actually being physically, sexually, mentally abused all the time. So it was just so confusing, but he's like kind of planting those seeds. But when I verbalized this and talked to my therapist about it, she was like, oh, yeah, that's exactly what was supposed to happen. That's what he was doing. He was already like calculating how I would fail, basically, how I was like to not only be victimized, but to anything that I said would be either diminished or just completely like put aside. So yeah, so I guess what I'm trying to say is like, what's really helpful for me is just knowing that I didn't stand a chance. Like you're talking about like a little child, how does a child stand a chance against that kind of thinking, that kind of calculation, that kind of manipulation? You don't. So in knowing that really kind of lifted the responsibility even more and really helped me kind of have that much more appreciation for what I did survive. Another thing that I kind of came to that really helped me, my partner, Meryl, when I started going through EMDR, I pulled out a picture of myself at the age that was abused. Well, it happened for several years, but just a picture of myself as a child, and it was always really hard to look at that. But so we pulled out a picture of me, and then we pulled a picture of her around the same age, and looking at them, it was like she kind of made the point of, how can I say that this child had any sort of responsibility or could do anything in that situation or during that abuse? Like, this child couldn't, so how could this child? It was just kind of like, whoa. Like, I think we forget as survivors, like what we were capable of, and we put so much shame and guilt and responsibility, essentially, to have done something when we were up against so much. The only thing that we could have done was survive, which is remarkable that we did, and that we're where we are now. So that really kind of was a big moment for me, and just kind of gave me some more perspective and appreciation for what I went through as a child. So yeah, just wanted to give you that little piece to maybe start thinking about, and maybe even consider in moving forward, and just giving that inner child, that child self of you, some sort of appreciation. Yeah. So that's my food for thought for today. Thanks so much for listening.